We had a production meeting the other day, and Carl got some feedback on the first show. So before we get into it, I'm gonna let you speak on it, CL. So,
Yeah, last show, I got a couple of people reached out to me and had a problem with the Krishan Rock me referring to her as a bitch, and it just in my eyes it's just a figure of speech talking about the situations because that's how Blueface and her address each other. You know, he addressed her as his bitch. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that you know, they young. They only like 22 and 26, you know what I'm saying? And right now, you know, they that's the way they talk to each other. So by any means, that's not the way I operate and talk to people about calling them bitch. And I'm pretty sure I can speak for my boy Simbo.
yeah.
That's not what he do.
No.
And that's not what we do. Because we did operate like that. We wouldn't even have a show right now. He wouldn't fool with me, and I probably definitely wouldn't fool with him if that's the way he handled his business. So, but I did see him on a show. They was on another podcast, and supposedly she's supposed to be pregnant right now. They let it out the bag that she's pregnant right now, and hopefully they grew up real fast by the time she had that baby, because all the physical abuse and verbal abuse that they do to each other, kids mimic what they see, and hopefully they can get it together before the baby born, and they won't whatever little young king or young queen they end up having, they won't have to think it's okay to verbally and physically abuse each other. You know what I'm saying? So I wish them the best. They look like they care for each other. They look like they love each other. They probably be together longer than most of these people who pretending to be happy.
Right,
but they look sincerely.
Right.
They look sincerely happy, and I wish them the best. And congratulations before the baby even get here.
Well, let me say this too, Carl. I know that this coming from your heart, because even the post that you made on social media, Facebook to be exact, you know, you kind of posted on there that, hey, my language is kind of
right,
you know, out there, but you know, so you do have that in your heart, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, raised a certain way. You know what I'm saying? We grew up with morals, and we respected our elders, which a lot of these kids don't do these days. That's why so much killing and stuff going on now, because they don't respect their elders. They don't respect their fellow man or woman. So I try to treat everybody equally, you know, no matter what your race, color, gender, sex, or whatever you choose to be. I try to treat them respect. And my mama, this is probably the most she probably ever, any foul language she gonna ever hear me say, especially face to face like this here. So right. I apologize again, mama.
Well, man, I appreciate that. You know, and you know, that's the internet for you know. But you know, we appreciate the feedback. We appreciate everybody watching. So stay tuned. You know, Carl, he is the man with the buzz.
Well, yeah, most definitely. I'm with the bullshit. I'm with the bullshit. That's what I do. I'm with the bullshit. So, like you said, if they got any comments or anything, shoot them to me, and don't direct them to him, because we're with the bullshit.
I don't really care, but you know.
Yeah.
But listen, check this out. But in all seriousness,
right?
What's Too Short's favorite word?
Bitch.
Okay, well. So okay, the Oscars is coming up pretty soon.
Right.
And,
what about a year now? Been a year?
It's been a year. You know, as we taping of this episode,
right,
it's gonna be a year coming Sunday or today.
I didn't have any entanglements. Baby, you will never see me on Oprah or Gail crying. I couldn't believe it, and I love Men in Black. No, we are not the same size. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. You think I auditioned for that part?
No.
He played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie in New Jack City.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, run it.
Why did you think it took Chris Rock so long to address it?
I don't know why it took that motherfucker so long, because for one, as a comedian, and you've been in comedy for 30, 40 years, you know timing is everything.
Everything.
And your timing for this show is definitely off. I don't know what made you want to finally address it now, because really, you should have addressed it on that show. As soon as he slapped you, when he was up there getting his award, with his back turned. You should have ran from backstage and slapped him behind his goddamn neck and made him hit his mouth on that goddamn statue and bust his lip and chip his tooth. There ain't no way I would let him get away with that. You embarrass me on the show, I'm getting your ass back.
Well, based on his, Chris Rock Live Netflix thing, he addressed that, what you just said.
Right.
He said that he was raised to not fight in front of white folks. So that was his excuse. I've been told that, but I would have just had to ignore the ancestors on that one.
We was raised, I don't know where you come from, Chris, but we was raised totally different. But to make you feel better, this is what I would do. This is my scenario to say this is what you should do.
Yeah.
You should. I don't know if you know Jada personally, got her number. Contact her people. Contact her people and tell her you want to talk to her privately. You don't want to go on Red Table Talk. You want to talk to her privately. When she agreed to talk to you privately, because that's how August Alsina got the pussy, because he was having mental issues, and she's sympathetic to motherfuckers who got mental problems, right? So go. First of all, when she agreed to talk to you, go get you one of them corner store pills and pop it, because you gonna get some pussy at the end of the day. Go get you one of them corner store pills, pop that motherfucker before you goddamn seal. That way, when you finally do seal, goddamn, and you go up there and give her a hug, goddamn, you hug her real tight, and you put that goddamn love muscle on her stomach. When she gonna feel that love muscle, goddamn it, goddamn, you put that snickle, that king size snickle on her goddamn stomach, I guarantee you she ain't gonna be able to resist it. And soon as you hear her take one good goddamn sigh after feeling that muscle on her stomach, you got her. Soon as she breathes, you got her.
Hold on, man. Okay, we getting off subject a little bit, but I understand what you.
But I'm just trying to tell him what to do.
No, I understand you trying to tell him what to do.
Trying to get some sympathy pussy.
But check this out.
Wife was her son's friend. Okay. Now I normally would not talk about this, but for some reason these put that shit on the internet. I have no idea why two talented people would do something that can low down. We all been cheated on. Everybody in here have been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. None of us. It's like, hey, I was sucking somebody else's dick. How did that make you feel? She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay? Everybody in the world called him a bitch. I tried to call the motherfucker and give him my condolences. He ain't pick up for me. Everybody called that man a bitch. Charlemagne called him a bitch. The drink champs called him a fucking bitch. Called his wife a predator. Everybody called him a bitch. And who's he hit? Me. A nigga he know he could beat. That is some bitch ass shit.
Will, like in the special that Chris had,
Right.
Because he the one got slapped, and he made a valid point.
Chris got slapped.
Chris got slapped. He made a valid point. The point that he made was everybody was calling Will a bitch because of the August Alsina thing. Right. Why is Chris the only one he decided to slap? You know what I'm saying? Because the man was smaller at that time. It was just bad timing for Will, man.
Well, why he ain't slap August? August just as small as goddamn Chris.
That's what I'm saying.
But August from that New Orleans, the murder cap of the world. He ain't want to slap. August might be straight body.
Yeah, and see, the internet was mad at Chris Rock because in that show, he called Jada a bitch. Something that you went through recently. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though it wasn't coming from you. Like Chris meant that from his heart. That was coming from him.
Yeah.
You was just repeating what somebody else was saying about their situation.
His brother meant bitch. Tony Rock, he meant bitch.
Chris meant it too.
He finally meant it. But Will slapped the bitch out his mouth. He couldn't even spit the word bitch. Will slapped that shit out his mouth.
Yeah, he did. But I think that man, Will need to get away from that, man. I don't really believe in divorce, but in that situation, man, that's toxic for that boy. Will Smith is not the happy-go-lucky Will Smith that he is, man. His life has publicly been dragged and just really, torn down. But to be a trooper, man, he's still out here, man. He's still trying to put on a good front in the face, But, man, that chick there, man, she bad news.
Hey, I know Will Smith, man. You're straight out of Philly, man. Parents just don't understand.
North Philly.
North Philly don't understand. Don't nobody understand, man. Goddamn, we try. I wish the best for him, man. But I think he need to move on from it. It's a very toxic relationship, and when somebody force you to do something to make them happy, not necessarily what you want to do, not just the public embarrassment, the lawsuits, the jail time, and all that you could have actually faced for doing what you're doing or doing what you did.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
But you know, that's still to be continued and see what happens with that. But I want to, man, give Chris, you know, as a comedian, that had to be kind of hard to do when the whole crowd coming to see what you go say about one thing. Normally a comedian can go all over the place.
Right.
But he knew that he had to address that in that live. It's part of the reason he got that 40 million. And something in me believes Will helping him get that 40 million for Netflix. Because, you know, Netflix just chunked Will Smith money, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's part of they you know, how they, you know, made up for what happened. It's just me. You know, we know we all looked at the special and all that, but you know, I want to commend Chris on doing that live, you know, kind of a free take. You know, he had a chance to stop it. He messed up in one of the jokes.
Right.
In the live, and he said somebody else's name or something like that, but he fixed it, but it was live, and I think that was impressive.
Well, that could be like you say, if Will got a relationship with Netflix, that could be a way of directly and indirectly not having a lawsuit, paying that man what he just do by getting him a special.
Hey, which is smart, because what's what them other people do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what, man? I messed up. I slapped the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you thinking about suing me. What if I get you this Netflix special for $40 million?
Woo, 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 woo.
I don't think that was a $40 million performance, but it was $40 million. That man got $40 million, get on stage, tell a few jokes, and tell his truth. That's crazy.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I mean, I'm not the biggest Chris Rock fan when it comes to his stand up.
Me neither.
So I really didn't watch the whole thing. I can only take so much of his voice.
Right.
You know, and he to me still remind me of Smokey on New Jack City. You know, his voice just never changed. Pookie on New Jack City, and with that voice, it just sounds the same.
Yeah.
And I just get tired of hearing that voice.
But based on comedy, man. So we was, you know, I'm gonna cap a little bit. We was in Jamaica vacationing,
right.
You
Coming
know,
back to Jamaica
in a nice, you know, villa, and we had a conversation on who's the top comic today.
Right.
So, you know, I said what I said, but I want your opinion on who it is, and I'm gonna say who I said. But go ahead.
Man, it's hard. I can't remember what I said back then, but it's
so remember just
it's so hard because Dave Chappelle, when he first come out, he was corny to me.
Right.
But seemed like the older Dave Chappelle get and the more seasoned he become, I'm starting to be a Dave Chappelle fan. Right. I still love the raunchy comics like the Earthquakes and and stuff like that. They're the ones who get straight to the business. But I'm starting to be a big Dave Chappelle fan right now. I saw a comedy special he did on Netflix a while back. But he's a genius, man. The way his mind works and how he put everything in there, man. I'm really a big Dave Chappelle fan right now. But I wasn't at first. He was corny as fuck to me at first. But I like me some Dave Chappelle right now.
I think Dave Chappelle is the best comic right now. Right.
Yeah.
The funniest comic to me is Earthquake. I don't know why, man. That dude, he just hilarious, you know. And then you got all the other tiers, you know. You got the Kevin Hart's, the what's the little man name, man? The crazy one. What's
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams, you know.
Cat Williams.
I respect the hell out of Cat Williams because Cat Williams is independent. You know, he ain't got corporate money behind it. You know, he come to a town, he packing it out and taking all the money, you know. And you know what? He got that from Earthquake, man. I sat and watched Earthquake do an interview, and man, Earthquake is really huge, man. Like to the comedian community, you know, he huge, man. So,
I may be a little biased too, man, to my Houston comics, man. Shout out Terry Gross, man, and
Ali,
yeah, and what's the other little cat name? I can't think of your name right now, but shout out to you, man. But I think if I was to do comedy, the one I would most be like if I was a comedian, that a lot of motherfuckers can't stand, that goddamn Corey Holcomb. Oh, that goddamn Corey Holcomb raunchy, man. That nigga, that raunchy. If you don't know Corey Holcomb, get a chance to go watch some shit. He got his own podcast too, 50-50 something. But yeah. But Corey Holcomb.
TK go hard.
Oh, I like T to the motherfucking K. That's my fella Aries, man. I met him at the Comedy Lounge out here in Houston, man. Nothing but love, man. The man showed me love. We took pictures and shit. He ain't charged like Charleston White. Charleston White charged me $25 for a goddamn picture, man.
Hey, Charles said he got to get that back.
He get that paper too, man. He get that paper. But
yeah.
hey, T to the motherfucking K, man. My fellow Aries, man. Much number love to you, homie. I love that. I love him and Corey Holcomb, man. Them my cats, man.
Okay. Well, this has been an episode of We All Famous.
We all famous. I'm boy CL.
And we see you next week.
Acer, no chaser. Yeah. Bitch, we told him.